And we're live. How you doing, guys? Sorry for running late. I literally just walked into the house, and you're gonna have to deal with me on my MacBook Pro camera and not my iPhone camera because for whatever reason, Chrome doesn't want to use my iPhone camera because Chrome's garbage, and I'm not in a great mood tonight, guys, and I do apologize. So. Charles, yes, you are first. You are first. Congratulations. Glad you're here, buddy. And I truly mean that. I'm glad y'all are here. So uh, things are things are going okay. And I'm lying to you, but that's beside the point. Telemachus, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could make it. Greetings all. Yes, greetings one and all. Meandered Mike says greetings, folks. Chris taking a nap. No, I was driving home from picking up the wife at work. She had a late night meeting tonight, so I had to go drive and pick her up because, well, my car doesn't want to car the way it's supposed to. So yeah, it's not carring as it were. Um, and yes, I am here. Hello, my brother Jay. Yeah, well, I know a guy, and he was in town this last weekend, but we'll leave it at that. There's Mr. Reese. How you doing, sir? Can't hear you.
How about now?
There you go.
Not too bad about yourself.
We'll go into details later.
I have
Um,
better internet.
I see that. Congratulations. Good to hear. Good to see.
Good to
Both.
hear.
So, uh, oh yeah, yes. Like I said, I was running a little late, um, and like I said, Chrome for whatever reason doesn't want to use my f- phone on my camera, so we're stuck with side shot tonight. Um, anyway, all that being said, here we are. Reese, how's your week been?
Not terrible. Um, Wound up with a free boat. Got the boat home tonight finally.
Oh, nice.
So
I told you what that leads to, right?
yes, I told you
Yeah.
what I think it's going to lead to. We'll see who's correct.
I'm just going with actual experience here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a horse trader. I'll work a deal. I'll make some money on it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
Um, like I said, like I was telling you, our dad has obtained several free boats and several boats that are, well, much less expensive than what you would think he should have been charged for them. So there you have it. There you have it. So, uh, excuse me. Before we
pardon me
go,
while I finish my dinner tonight too. So
that is quite all right. Before we go too deep down into the rabbit hole that is the show, I wanted to remind everybody. I think it's still happening. We've got we have a 20% discount on Galactic Heroes, Core Rules, and Tales of Horror um, books, PDFs, cards, etc. For the next 8 days and 3 hours. So, yeah, 8 days, 3 hours, 20 minutes to be exact. 20% off of all three of those titles and their sundry gatherings. As my brother Jay says, BOAT is an acronym for break out another thousand. Yeah, the definition of BOAT is a hole in the water that you consistently throw money into. Just saying. Um, so got the Wiley Games blurb out of the way. I do have another new blurb. Um, for those that are familiar and for those that are not familiar, there is a mobile app called Whatnot that people put their uh, hawk their wares on, so to speak, and they're little mini uh, auctions. They last like 20 seconds, and people are on there selling all kinds of stuff. And one of those people happens to be my brother. He had his first auction last night. Went about 25, 30 minutes. Um, he's selling off some of the old hobby stuff that has been accumulated over the decades that, well, let's be honest, will never see the light of day on either of our tables. So he's decided, hey, let's clear out the basement and make some money off of it. And so every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. currently Central Daylight Time, he will be running some auctions. Um, Last night, on the first night, he did a pretty good job. Had one guy come in and uh, get a couple of his old board games. Doom went to this guy. A couple other games. And he's going to have stuff, all kinds of stuff. You know, there's board games. There's old white dwarfs. If people are interested in old white dwarfs, I think there's going to be miniatures to be had. So definitely, if anybody is interested, you can check it out. If you go to Whatnot, and I bet if you look up um, the veteran wargamer, you'll find his uh, his channel, so to speak. So yeah, 3 items. Yeah, he got 3 items sold off to the same guy. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Um, plus he yeah, I'm aware of that. The recording is stopped. I don't care. Um, it made $17. You know, hey, that's $17 he didn't have to start with. So, like I said, check him out. The veteran wargamer. Um, he's got it tied in along with his podcast, which hasn't really had anything going on for a while because life happens. Um, but still, still a good podcast to go listen to from over the years. He's had a lot of great uh, a lot of great guests. Uh, Probably the guest that he's had on the show the most is Henry Hyde. Um, Always a good show with Henry. I think I'm a close second. But the real person you want to go see is or listen to is Mr. Henry. Hey, we've got a McMurray. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Do you have a good week so far?
Not too bad. About to have an awesome weekend.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, I had a great weekend this last weekend. Started uh, Thursday night. We got together and played a game of Cry Havoc. The
How
old
was that?
that was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was bloody. It was uh, medieval, literally. Um, Knights were unhorsing people or each other, and men at arms were busting people's chops. Crossbows were being fired. Bows were just eliminating people left and right. Uh, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had 4 players total, 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and each one side had um, 2 knights each, a sergeant, I think 3 men at arms, or 4 men at arms, and 2 bowmen. The other side had almost the exact same thing. The difference was, instead of the 2 bowmen, they had 3 crossbowmen. And it was quite nasty, and I'm hoping to play it again because it was great. Jay is saying that his podcast is coming back soon.
Nice.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Like I said,
It's fantastic
he's got some really great shows out there already. He's huge in Uzbekistan. Looking at
Number one
his
podcaster,
videos.
Uzbekistan.
Yes, yeah. Well, we could say definitively the number one English speaking podcaster in Uzbekistan, because there might be an Uzbeki out there that just slays it.
That's
But,
fair.
But yeah, check it out. The Veteran Wargamer on anywhere you get your favorite podcasts from. It's definitely on Apple. So if you're an Apple guy, if you're in the Apple ethos, the Apple sphere, if you will, you can check it out from the Apple podcast. But I think he's got it hosted on SoundCloud, so you can definitely check it out on SoundCloud. Chris Long in the house says, "Hey ho, out on my walk after dinner and listening to the show." Glad to hear it, Mr. Long. Glad to hear it. And another boost to Jay's podcast. Chris Long says best podcast. That's high praise in my book. That's high praise in my book. So
it's pretty awesome. Like, go listen to the episodes with Henry and everything, and it's pretty fantastic. Really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the worst you can do are the podcasts that I'm on. Just saying.
Oh man, guys, my second large order from Tommy arrived this afternoon.
Uh-oh.
Dude, it's fantastic. These fleets are going to be obscene.
Nice. Nice.
I'm trying to count. I think I got I'll count galleots as 1 ship each. There's like 12 more here for me, and my buddy Pat is trying to catch up with like 20.
Right.
Or some such. Actually, it's more than 20. It's probably 23 or 4. But I jumped into the Venetians hard, which means that now there's a galleass here that I need to put together, which is going to be altogether too badass. I mean, it's
quite cool. Well, speaking of Venetians, if it weren't for Venetian blinds, it'd be curtains for all of us.
That's true. Yeah. Good Lord. But I also stopped and grabbed the little $3 organizers at Menards for all of my crew markers and stuff.
Yeah.
I am psyched. I am slightly sad. The rule set is galleys, guns, and glory. Chris Long. And I've played a number of games recently here. A couple with, each person has 1 ship. That's fine. It's not bad, but the games where everybody's got a few, we played one where each of us had 4 ships. That was pretty awesome. I'm excited to get multiplayer games going where everybody's got, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 little galleots. It's going to be sick. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited. I've been having a ball playing it. It plays well. There's a couple little thingies that we just kind of like, oh, yeah, duh. All right. And then we caught back up with it, and it's a great rule set. Thomas's rule sets are always super fun. They're just, yeah. I think I know he was just at Salute, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did. Yeah. Yeah, Thomas was just at Salute. That delayed this order getting to me by a couple of weeks, but that's okay because he was in, I think, Chicago for work, he said, and then he was going to Salute. It's really awesome when you have a company that'll straight up just, shoot you a message and say, hey, it's going to be a minute. Sorry. That's pretty slick. That's pretty cool. You don't necessarily get that a lot.
Yeah, agreed. So Chris Long says the Henry episodes are good. That's how he found out about Henry. NJ says far too kind. This is no, there's some real stinkers out there. Out of the sense of decorum, I shan't reveal which ones straight up suck yak. Yeah. So yeah, Thursday night played that over at my buddy Brad's house. Then Friday, brother Jay came into town and we went down to the tabletop and played some Fistful of Lead Galactic Heroes. We played Space Marines versus Cadians because, why not? Because there's no good guys in the 40K universe, no matter what rule set you use. And we had a power outage there for like 30 seconds because we had a hellacious storm blow through. And then Saturday, we all gathered up at our buddy Ian's house. Ian is Joel's son. And we played Fistful of Lead on one table. And we played Dragon Rampant and 28mm on another table, going simultaneously. And then after lunch, we had a field trip to the local weapons store where I found a 36 caliber Remington 36 caliber revolver rifle.
Oh yeah, a little 1858 rifle.
Yeah, number 357 of 400 made.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah, they only want 3,000 for it.
It's actually probably
not bad.
A good price. Yeah.
That's I was expecting it to be a lot more.
What gun store was that in KC?
It's in Raytown, Steel Blue or Blue Steel or I don't know. It's in Raytown.
Oh, so it's in. Is that Kansas or Missouri?
No, that's Missouri.
That's on the Missouri side.
Yeah.
I bet you could get extra cylinders for it too.
I mean, I would assume normal 1858 cylinders work for it.
Yeah, as long as you got the 36 cal ones.
Yeah, it's true.
But it was nice. They had a couple of Garans or Garans, as Mr. Garand likes to pronounce it.
Well, he's French Canadian, so nobody cares.
Correct.
They had a massively gigantic revolver, modern, and when I mean massive, you could club baby seals to death with this thing. If you ran out of bullets, you could take on a grizzly. You'd still lose, but you could take it on. because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, except grizzlies. Grizzlies will straight up murder you. Um, but no, this thing. If you know this the following reference, you're in good company. It's an 88 Magnum. It shoots through schools. Um, I don't think it was an 88 Magnum because I don't think that actually exists. However, um, I don't know what it was, but you could only put 5 rounds into the cylinder. It
That
was
doesn't
that
narrow it down
massive.
too much. Yeah.
It was a
Pretty
beast
much
of
any
a
of the
weapon.
BFRs.
Uh, what's that?
I said that could be any of the BFRs. Big
Yeah.
freaking revolvers.
Yeah,
You know
I
what you
mean,
don't see enough of?
thing was like this big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You know what you
mean,
don't
it
see
was
enough of though?
massive.
Magnum Research 4570s.
Ooh.
I am a firm believer that the world needs more large rifle caliber revolvers.
I'd still love to have one in 30 caliber carbine.
Also super cool. The disappointing thing, they didn't make the 30 carbine like an 8-round cylinder, did they?
No, it's a straight up 6.
Yeah, that makes me sad. Because they certainly have the capability to do that, but
I think you could still get a Blackhawk in 30 caliber carbine though.
I believe so. Those were a
So
lot
Don't
more
they?
ubiquitous
Don't
also.
don't Blackhawks normally come twin turbine?
Good one.
Back to wargaming, I did play I played Dragon Rampant last night as well.
Nice.
Our local group is continuing to plow into Dragon Rampant in the Lord of the Rings setting. And it is quite delightful. Every time we play, we kind of introduce more of the rules in terms of leader traits and whatnot and boasts and everything. It kind of just, in trying to get it knocked out in a decent sized game that can have 5 or 6, people playing on a club night, it helps to take it kind of slow. You don't necessarily immediately get the full giant Dragon Rampant experience, but it's working well, and it also helps to kind of ease into, okay, how does this work best with Lord of the Rings, and all that, and it's going pretty great. Guys are really enjoying it. They're getting a kick out of it. There are some local guys who really, really like the Middle Earth strategy battle game, who are finding it a fair bit of a relief to not just play who can get the coolest hero,
Right.
which is understandable. I get it. That was between that and then the standard GW, lots and lots and lots of rules and lots and lots and lots of exceptions. I understand where the frustration comes from, but it is pretty cool to see guys enjoying Dragon Rampant and just big, Lord of the Rings games that with Middle Earth strategy battles would be rather impractical to say the least. It's cool to see them playing that, and it's cool to get all the figures on the table. I painted, as you guys know, just a metric shitload of orcs and whatnot, and Men of Minas Tirith during the Analog Hobbies painting challenge, and it's cool to finally see them hit the table and en masse and really just roll all over the place. It was cool. I think we had let me see, 9 orc units on the table, including 2 trolls, and then I think 7 maybe units for the Men of Minas Tirith. It's it's always fun to play. It's cool to play as guys get a little bit more used to playing it, a little more comfortable with the rules. We can really start rolling through it, and having a good time without having to jump back to the rules as much. It was weird. I figured the orcs I made with pretty high courage, right? Because the first day we played a game where the orcs were very Peter Jackson, right? So they were able to go to a certain extent pretty toe to toe with the average man. And then this roll around, I went a little more Tolkien, where they're not necessarily on even footing, and they're a little more cagey. So like their move stat was pretty simple, but then their courage was high, and they weren't, the kind of light foot that I was having them be, so they could get their shield or their spear wall up and all that nonsense. Yeah, it was still fun. It was a little different. It didn't go quite as it was real even, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. I think the cool part about Dragon Rampant is you can just kind of monkey with the stats fairly easily. Like, oh, I want these guys to stick around a little bit longer, or take the Minas Tirith guys, for example, right? They've all got pretty hefty armor, right? So, okay, they're armor 2. Then they're, spear and swordsmen. Well, they have shields too. Okay, so they're armor 3, which makes sense. Again, you go back, you read the books. They don't just fall off. They're pretty stout dudes. But then the orcs, you're sitting there with, oh, well, these guys suck, and most of them were wearing maybe hide armor. So, like, I created a new card for Orc Rabble. So just the random slathering hordes of Mordor, or whatever generic, tribe or region of Mordor they're from. And that seemed to do pretty good. They weren't very good at anything. And they each only had armor 1 because they're just kind of wearing hides, not necessarily even much metallic armor. And it seemed like the guys had a good time playing, so that was encouraging. Sometimes you get a poopy pants who really just doesn't want to play, and that's not super fun.
Yeah, but we really can't control that.
Correct. Well, you can. People just get a little bit more poopy pants when you tell them, all right, man, why don't you can cut out of here. It's all right.
Yeah.
If you don't want to play, go home.
Oh, I am fully aware and quite delighted to tell folks that.
Good Lord.
I'm trying to decide if I should put one of these massive fucking masts on my galley, or if I should keep it to the 3 kind of medium-sized masts. I think I'm going to do the 3 medium-sized jobs. Man.
Well, I made several large orders today.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Pray tell what they were, Mr. Reese. I think I know at least one, maybe two.
One of them.
Yeah.
Which was the, I guess they acquired them recently, but Pendraken, excuse me, acquired a company that does 20 millimeter scale Vietnam fire-based terrain. So I basically ordered their whole line and multiples of it.
That's one we'll do.
So that will be here at some point once it gets through customs. I ordered some East Front 20 millimeter figures for Vietnam, including a 105 howitzer, because one of the things I got in the Firebase set was a 105 emplacement without the 105.
Nice, okay.
And not having a 105, I needed to go get one.
I get it.
So instead of just ordering the howitzer, I ordered several things. And then going, well, I don't really care for all the figures in this range, but if I'm going to go metal 20mm, I might as well go full bore.
Fair.
So I flipped over to Elheim figures,
Mm-hmm.
and they do fantastic 20mm Vietnam. So I bought quite a bit from them as well.
Yeah.
And I'm still keeping my plastic Vietnam 20mm. I think they're wonderful filler figures, but I just, having liked the 15 metal so much, it was time to go metal on my 20s.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I have done, and I think you're going to see me doing a lot of smaller scale stuff in the near future. ACW, American Colonial Wars, not American War of Independence, but the actual American Colonial Empire, and then obviously my Vietnam stuff. I'm actually thinking about selling my 54mm ACW and Colonial era stuff.
I watched you there for a second. You're thinking about what?
I'm thinking about selling my 54mm Colonials and ACW.
Oh wow.
I would still keep 54 Vietnam, World War I, and World War II.
Fair.
And probably French and Indian War. But I'm seriously considering selling at least ACW.
Well, damn, that's exciting.
15 was the way to go.
It's a great scale.
So that's hard for me to stomach. I've been the 54mm only guy for the longest time.
Well, that'll happen.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us, buddy.
They've got medication for that.
I am proud of you for being able to sell stuff.
Yeah,
I am, for whatever fucking reason, incapable of doing that.
I mean,
not on any large scale.
My 54mm ACW has not seen a table since college.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And my 54mm Colonials have sat in the back of a semi-trailer for a year. And before that, I mean, I haven't decided on them yet. It's going to be hard for me to let them go.
Yeah,
54mm Colonials was really my first big thing I got into.
And you've got a pretty solid variety and large collection of them too. Like
several thousand figures.
Yeah.
I mostly worked on my World War 1898 concept with that. So I had a large Ottoman force, I had a large British force. I had some Northwest Frontier guys that were pretty nifty. Had a decent sized American force. I didn't have as many boars as I would like to because
that was the constant struggle, dog.
Yeah, was the mounted boars were just not available in 54.
Yes. I was about to say, we've been trying to figure that out for years now.
Mm-hmm. And if that had been figured out, I don't know if I would have made the switch. But
well,
I could see 15mm, 20mm, something like that being where I finally get the 1898 project off the ground.
I am 100% sure we can find mounted bores in 15 mil.
Already done it. I need to focus on one or two projects at a time.
Yep.
And right now I've got ACW, the Moro Rebellion, and Vietnam in the queue, and I need to stick with that.
Oh, I have a bunch of single-based 15 mil Vietnam too.
15 mil Vietnam?
Yeah, I did a bunch of single-based stuff back in the day.
Don't do that to me, man. I'm 20 mil on Vietnam.
Oh, disregard. I don't have anything in in Vietnam. Yeah, I have nothing.
I did order a 15mm crash chopper from Battlefront. I mean, it's not. I didn't order it from Battlefront, but it's the Battlefront crashed Huey.
Nice.
To use on a 20 mil game, I figured it wouldn't matter too much.
No.
And then I tracked down a lot more of the JR Miniatures roads.
Nice.
and I have a lot of the 28 mils. So naturally, I got some 15 mils,
As you
and then
do.
I got the piece that narrows down the 15 mil to 6 mil, and then I got a lot of 6 mils.
Wait, you have a bunch of 6 mil Vietnam?
No, 6 mil roads.
Oh, okay. I
So
was about to
JR
say.
Miniatures did their roads in 3 scales. They did the 28 mil line,
Yeah.
the 15 mil, and the 6 mil line. But I figured with what I'm going to do with the ACW, the 6 mil road could be a little forest track, a horse
Correct.
trail, goat trail.
Same thing with Vietnam and everything else. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. I was about to say, because I have 6 mil Vietnam also, but that's neither here nor there.
I've also acquired several books recently that will be a big benefit to my hobby. So
Oh, yeah. What I'm trying to say, Reese, is I have a fucking problem.
I know you do, and I'm trying to help you with that problem.
By inspiring me to do more scales?
Yep.
Done. Done. I appreciate it.
Good Lord.
What?
I have decided to hold off on any more 15 millimeter gunboat stuff until I get in a better spot.
That's fair. That
Um,
is a space commitment.
it's gonna be there when I come back to it. I don't see
Correct.
Virtual Armchair General going anywhere. And I love their late colonial era gunboats.
Well, not only that, but
And it'll be there when I get there. So
and you know Old Glory will also. And then you
yes,
know that my nonsense isn't going anywhere because I didn't
but
go
frankly, I
so
have what I
hard.
want. I have what I want in 15 millimeter ACW gunboats. I take that
Oh,
back.
no, you
You
don't.
have what I want in 15
Well,
millimeter ACW gunboats.
that is until you see the ones that I have primed up, painted, and a couple of these
Okay.
are fucking cool.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've
But we'll
got
hold
what?
off on talking about that and getting into that until,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
no, they're slick.
so I've got one built here. I've got a couple more coming from you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Get excited. God, dude. Speaking of getting excited, this fucking uh Gallias is awesome. But now I'm running into problems because Old Glory also makes 1/300 scale Spanish Armada era stuff,
mhm.
which in case you guys missed it, Lepanto 1571, Spanish Armada 1588. Those go pretty damn well together. They are not MDF like Tommy's stuff is, but just the period hype in general is killing me in terms of I have never felt the desire to build, race built galleons and stuff like that. But I am fighting that hard. Hard. To the point where today, guess what I grabbed today? Gentlemen, this won't surprise you at all. I was at Menards. What do you guys think I got at Menards today?
Big bucket of cheese balls.
All the
No.
washers.
Okay, I did get washers, but that's kind of a granted. That doesn't count. Of course, I bought washers at Menards. I don't think I've ever walked into Menards and not bought at least one pack of washers.
I placed an order with Ace for 500 3/16 washers the other day,
Hell yes.
and they're gonna bring them to me.
Outstanding.
So
That being said,
anyway, what did you get
chat
at Menards?
box. This applies to you doofuses in the chat too. What do you guys think I got at Menards today?
Spray paint 2x4s. I don't know.
Ooh, you were close on the 2x4s. I grabbed, and now you guys get to guess what these are for. So poplar dimensional lumber, so not squared edge lumber. One by 3x6, one by 4x6, and two. Shut up, Brian. Two poplar half by 2x6, or half by 2x6s. What do you guys think those are for?
You're mounting your gunboats on them to play gunboats at like armrest level on the floor.
That is. Shut up. No. All I have to do is make new toppers for my old stands for that.
But now you're thinking about it.
Shut up, Reese. Yes. Maynard's is a hardware store. It's like a hardware store that kind of wants to be Walmart also.
Save big money at Menards. Except
They
I
do.
don't save money because every time I go in there, I spend my entire paycheck.
Well, that's
But you get
reasonable.
11% back.
Yeah,
You
that
do
is
get
true.
11% back on basically everything, which really just begs the question of just make everything like 8% off.
No, because the
But
11% only comes back as gift certificates that you have to spend at
oh,
Menards.
I'm aware, and it's a rebate, and they just bank on
Yeah.
everybody not doing the rebate. But it's 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 to make 28 millimeter Lepanto style galleys.
Oh, that's sick.
It's
That is sick.
That's sick or he is sick?
No, that's
Yes.
sick.
Well, so what?
And don't forget, I have not forgotten our 54 millimeter 1812 gunboats. I have not
Oh
forgotten them.
yes. Oh no. Well, so
That's just on the back burner.
these are one of the prototypes for that, because I built like a 54 mil like rowboat, like
Mhm.
not a rowboat. It's a launch.
Mhm.
So essentially, it's a large rowboat built vessel that then has a single mast, and then I've got a little gun platform in the bow for like a carronade.
That's awesome.
So yeah, don't worry about that. That's already out in the garage. But Buddy, who is embarking on this mad Thomas Foss rampage with me, has a laser engraver.
Look out, Snoopy.
So the terrifying thing about that is he has a laser engraver. I have a router. We now have lots and lots of ships to use as templates to scan and then blow up to laser engrave, to then make router templates, to then make pretty fucking good looking and evenly contoured 28 mil galleys, because I already have a bunch of 28 mil figures for it, at least on the European side, that I did a long time ago. Sweet, good looking
Looking good.
boat.
South Dakota.
That I did. Hell yeah, small and mighty, baby. But I did a whole bunch of. At the time, the guys locally were all playing Test to Honor when that came out, which was a fun game. Not my favorite, but a fun game. But I hate painting samurai because that armor sucks to paint. Like, that shit's miserable. But so I painted up a bunch of Portuguese, right? So I got a bunch of Portuguese dudes with spears. I got a bunch of Portuguese dudes with uh, arquebuses and swords, and so I just used them in place of the samurai. And so I'm sitting here going, man, I really, I'm enjoying this period. I've never really been super into this period. I successfully staved off the Bacchus order of a fuckload of Europeans and Ottomans. So I got that going for me, which is nice. But now I have a bunch of Ottomans coming from Old Glory, so that we can put 28 millimeter galleys on the table and then fight over those, because see the previous mention of I have problems. They should be relatively simple to do.
Have you seen the night Chicago died range from Old Glory?
Yes, I have a lot of them.
The Hillbillies and Still thing and the
Have that.
G-Men are calling my name.
Yes, I have both of those sets. I originally got a bunch of that stuff to use for partisans
Mhm.
in bolt action. and then it just kind of evolved into, well, okay, now they're Easter Rising Irish. So I also have a
If I'm
bunch of like black and tans.
right, I'll be
I have
back.
okay. Um, yeah. So needless to say, the Lepanto era has stepped off nice and heavily here. Because then also in 28, Chris, as you know, I've got that Mayflower,
Yeah.
which is perfect. It's not true 28. It's 164th, and even
Yeah,
then it's
close enough.
kind of box scale. But for anybody who's seen the old Shogun miniseries, the ship from that was quite literally Mayflower 2 repainted. Um,
Right.
so it's perfect. So even if I wanted to just donk a gal or a flute down on the table, for whatever reason, that's there. There's no way I'm finding a 28 millimeter galleon. That would be legitimately insane. If somebody suggests the fucking Blood and Plunder one in the chat, you just see yourself out. I like boats and things that look like boats, not things that look like, I don't know, really tall bathtubs.
Right.
Um, but uh, yeah, so that's pretty slick. I'm trying to avoid the issue is the old. I told you guys that Old Glory has a bunch of 1/300, which is the same scale as Thomas's stuff. Again, it's resin cast, so if you put the two of them on the table together, it look kind of silly. But they are priced almost identically in terms of the galleys and whatnot are $15, and then once you bump up to like a galleus, which they do actually have one of, uh, it's 25. But most of the galleys are $15. It really makes me want to play some of the fights between the Ottomans and the Portuguese in the Indian Ocean, because that would just be
Do it.
wildly ridiculous. Like, who the hell even knows that like the Ottomans and the Portuguese are fighting? Are they doing it in the Mediterranean, which is, right next to each of them? Absolutely not. Why would you do something silly like that? We're gonna fight in Africa, and then actually Western India also, but that's not the point.
So I've only got another like 10, 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to dip.
Okay.
But I do have a question for naval minds better than myself.
Yes.
Who would have bought our ocean-going monitors after the American Civil War?
Lots of places, mainly South American nations.
Okay.
So places
Would
that
it
rubber was starting to be a thing.
would anything still be in use in 1898?
Dude, the the U.S. Navy was goddamn near still using our ocean-going monitors in 1898.
Okay.
We weren't. We got out of that with the ABC cruisers in the 1880s for the most part when Brazil rolled up with early pre-dreadnoughts into, what was it, Boston or Baltimore or New York?
It was New
Not Jay.
York.
It was New York, and the Navy went, "Oh shit, we don't have anything that can touch that thing. We should probably figure that out." Um, but yeah, no, that was actually kind of a big stink. Um, Understandably so. We should have been fucking embarrassed by that, but um, that was absolutely a thing.
I was just trying to come up with some feasibility where some minor power got a hold of some monitors and we're using them in my World War 1898 crisis.
That can absolutely be any number of small South American nations. Yeah, toll France to a certain extent, but France was also building um, pretty standard ocean going ironclads, like broadside ironclads. They were building those for the Confederates during the war, even. Like, that's how the Japanese wound up with ocean going broadside ironclads immediately after re entering the world, was because, like, Soketsuku or whatever it is was supposed to be a Confederate ocean going ironclad. So not
And I
monitor
also
style Reese, broadside ironclad. So like a traditional
right.
ship with iron hulling, like USS Galena or New Ironsides ish, but more
I've also got
successful.
a crazy idea in my head about I know the Boer republics were landlocked and whatever, but a Boer allied commerce raider.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be badass.
With just a bunch of guys speaking Afrikaans with rifles on a commerce raider. Just
That would be pretty hilarious. That'd be awesome.
I'd like to pull that off.
Dog, I don't even know if I'm putting this damn galley ass together correctly. I just got really, really excited and started gluing shit.
Well, let's be fair. If you're not putting it together right, it'll be galley ass.
Well, that's true. That is true. And nobody here locally has any idea what the fuck any of this is, so it really doesn't, I guess, matter too terribly much. But yeah.
I don't know what any of it is.
JDM just doesn't matter.
Correct. Uh-oh. I did put that mast in backwards. That's going to bug me, but that's okay. It's just a stick mast. It won't be a huge deal. God, dude. Tommy's boats are awesome. This guy is the best. Guys, if you don't have anything from Skull and Crown, go order something from Skull and Crown. Thomas Foss is
Just-
an amazing person.
Yeah, just
I got
because
a thank you note for running a game from Thomas Foss.
That's because he's awesome. What, you were running one of his games?
No, not one of his games. He played in one of my games and then wrote me a thank you note.
Oh, yeah, that's not surprising. He's an awesome person.
He's a gentleman to the core.
Oh, is that the game where he blew the Christ out of Todd in Vietnam 54?
I believe that was the game. I believe that was the one where somebody decided
I kept
that
getting shot in the face.
Giving an
RPGs.
RPG gunner D12s was a good idea.
I don't know who that fuck decided that was going to be a great idea.
But it was.
It's never happened in a game since.
I don't know who thought it was a great idea, but it sounds like it was a great idea, so that counts.
I am planning on reprising that game in 15 with the full Special Forces camp layout at some point.
And men?
Oh, and all the... Oh, yes, and men, but she's going to be a statue of worship instead of a figure because she'll be in 54.
Oh, God, can you imagine? That's like the ultimate 1960s goofy sci-fi.
Uh-huh. Just the Montagnards have the shrine of men.
Yeah, that's just this Vietnamese hooker.
Oh, I told you what I'm going to put as the figurehead on my boat.
Yes.
So.
All right, check this thing out. Hang on. Let me
That's lovely.
That is the Galleass. Hang on. Oh, there's some other Lepanto guys back there in the background next to other mostly done Bronze Age guys and completed 2mm AWI guys. Here is a normal galley sitting next to it. So it follows a rough construction like a galley, except for then it's got this giant forecastle and broadside guns, which is just bitchin'. The other cool one is, hang on, let me get that kind of back like this. There you go. The other cool ship is this bad boy, the Laterna, which is a great big fuck off galley. Yeah. And then all the way down to our little galliots. Hey, buddy. There's one little gun in the front. Oh, shit, I didn't paint that gun. Okay.
That's pretty stinking cool.
Ignore. Yeah, they're awesome. Big fan.
So, a quick question. Because
yes.
really anything prior to like 1906, I know exactly shit about when it comes to, well, anything historically. We didn't really have much change in naval architecture from, I don't know, ancient Rome until the mid 1400s.
No. In the Mediterranean, galleys kind of remained a thing, but lots and lots of more sailing based ships were incredibly prevalent. Galleys remained a thing in the Mediterranean, because there's not many storms, so really shallow draft vessels weren't super screwed over by that.
Right.
As well as the fact that for like pirates and raiders, notably the Ottomans, the ability to row in and out of trouble against the wind was obviously exceptionally helpful, right? And then if the Holy League and other Christian powers, like again, namely the Venetians, were the big power players on the Christian stage at the time, other than the Spanish, but the Spanish attentions were divided between the Atlantic and the Med. If you're going to fight galleys, you kind of have to have galleys. So that's where you get that. No, there was lots of development in sail powered vessels in the meantime. Lots. Like the
Okay.
Romans had most of the Roman, like most Roman transports were sail powered with next to nothing in the way of oars. And that's the wild thing about Lepanto and this tiny chunk of the period in general. Like I said, the rest of the world, um, the Spanish and the Portuguese were building the balls off of galleys like the Golden Hind and the original Revenge, stuff like that. Um, just like you have Columbus didn't sail in a galley, he had a couple carracks and a caravel, which are also pretty cool little ships, but that's not the point. There's quite a bit of development. It's just in the tiny, constrained, kind of weird niche world of the Mediterranean, the galley remains relevant in that particular use until large scale implementation of gunpowder, in which case then anything with a broadside is just going to tear the shit out of a galley, which has to by nature be relatively lightly constructed, being entirely propelled by dudes with breaking backs.
Right.
And that due to the light construction, A, can't physically handle too much gun recoil, and B, uh, can't take too much angry punishment. One interesting thing about Lepanto era galleys is that they weren't necessarily as the rams weren't in place to sink enemy ships like they may have been, more so with the Greeks and the Romans. The spurs were more boarding devices, um, which is kind of cool. So you
Yeah.
had
To get you just not to sink, but to get stuck in.
yes, whereas the Romans famously had to come up with the corvus to fight the Carthaginians, which is essentially a giant bridge that gets lashed to your front mast and then
Right.
drives. Yes, Mike. Yes, Red Hinds are Red Deer. Golden Hind was the name of Sir Francis Drake's ship. Yes, but the what was it? Oh yeah. So instead of having to either A, try and jump or have some sort of flimsy bridge, or then the evolution like we talked about of the Corvus, um, by the Renaissance the spur was in place to expedite boarding, uh, not necessarily to punch below the waterline and smash a hole in the bad guys' ships. You also have some other differences in terms of most of the oars on a Renaissance galley were rowed by, up to, 4 or 5 people, as opposed to 1, 2, or maybe 3 on some of the really, really large vessels of late antiquity, like the Pteridocatonters or whatever that the Greeks and like Egyptians were coming up with,
Right.
as opposed to on a traditional bireme or trireme where you might have 1 or 2 rowers per oar, because again they're relatively lightly built ships. But yeah, yeah, there's plenty of naval innovation in there. There's David Manley has a cool medieval rule set where the main weapon that you have to use is bows, which is kind of cool. It really illustrates some of the frustrations that you would have had. No, I'm not, Charles. I'm actually kind of just an idiot that remembers dumb stuff. Just sometimes that dumb stuff is helpful for wargaming. Um, but yeah, where the main weapon that you're using is you're just shooting bows at each other, which is a little ridiculous. But like think of like the Mary Rose, Chris. You know what the Mary Rose is?
Yeah.
Like Mary Rose or Vasa, which you can still look up actual pictures of the actual ship because it was relatively intact when they raised it. Well, it wasn't intact when they raised it. It was intact when they went to raise it. So they were able to raise it and reconstruct it in a pretty outstanding fashion. Those are kind of the pinnacle of uh, that melding of medieval and birth of the broadside design, where it's important to have forecastles and stern castles because you're having to quite literally shoot down onto your enemy's decks. Actually, really interestingly, on stuff like Mary Rose and Vasa, is that inside of the forecastle and after castles, you also have a lot of guns and firing ports pointed inwards towards the waist of your vessel, right? That weather deck, because you're going to
Yeah.
get boarded there. And so it's important that if you have to shoot the enemy on your own vessel, that you can do that. By the time you hit, the Napoleonic era, you get a lot of not necessarily entirely flush decked vessels, especially on larger vessels. You still have a rather pronounced uh, forecastle and stern castle, and then on some big stuff, you even have a poop deck, which puts the stern castle one deck higher. But think of like USS Constitution, right? That's damn near a flush deck ship in terms of that weather deck.
Right.
That weather gun deck runs essentially the whole length of the ship. Um, you know, Victory has a forecastle. Looking at it, it's hard to see it because the weather gun deck is set one deck lower, and then you've got walkways. But yeah, you can still see it in the stern castle, especially because there's a poop deck because it's built for it's a first rate, right? There's going to be an admiral, so you need a poop deck to hold the admiral's cabin and everything like that. But wow, that was like an obnoxiously long explanation to a not that complicated question. But yeah, there is lots of naval evolution. Like I said, the Mediterranean is just that weird bubble where until gunpowder and cannon become A, effective, and B, able to be produced effectively in a small enough scale to go onto a ship. Because, I mean, think about it. The Ottomans had artillery and used artillery to really good effect in 1583 when they took Constantinople, right? But it's
Right.
huge stuff. It's hurling giant stones. Um, that makes things tough, right? Like there was artillery in the War of the Roses. Nobody talks about it, but there was gunpowder and artillery in the War of the Roses. Not that effective, right? Also super not that effective when you're trying to load it on a boat or ship that might be rolling, and everything else. Oh, man, I'm gonna fucking order galleons now.
It's a moral imperative.
It it's really getting to look that way. Um, the issue is, I'm pretty sure I have an Old Glory order that still hasn't gotten here, and I feel like I probably shouldn't order again from Old Glory while there's still an order like in the works. You know what I mean?
So as not to confuse them.
Well, honestly, the more I talk like that, I just feel like it's quitter talk. But um, it's 1/300 though. That's cool. I'm going to play a demo of Sail Power this weekend at Little Wars that uses primarily 15 millimeter and 1/300 scale ships, which I
Oh, there you go.
already have altogether too many of, including some of the same vessels in both scales. But God, I do, man. I got like Great Lakes gunboats, like the same vessels, double-ended, and then USS Philadelphia style boats in both 15 and 6. Certainly have Constitutions in both. I haven't built my full 15 millimeter. Well, I built a 15 millimeter Constitution. I haven't painted and rigged it yet. There's my 6 mil Constitution. I don't know, man. That could be pretty cool, though. Be pretty nifty.
Yep.
Some of these might even be like decently sized. Ooh, here's a really, 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 really good example of a cog. Hang on. Let me I like it, Charles. I like it. I like the dedication, buddy. If you are, make sure it's from Skull and Crown or basing
Right.
materials from Turf Wars. All right, let's see here. Let's pop the video back on the screen. So, Chris, here's a really good example. Let me see if my
There you
video
go.
will turn.
Perfect.
Of a cog. I'm looking for something to point with. Hello. So here you can see that early innovation or that early implementation of like a semi-standardized stern castle and forecastle, and you can really see where they get the name. Like this
Right.
is an old
And
irregular model, but it's straight up modeled with Merlins and Krenels on both.
yeah.
And yeah, you've got a single mast, so you've got the sail power. That's still the primary propulsion on this thing. But you can tell also where it's got the lines when you look at the hull of almost a Roman merchant ship, right? Where you're getting towards that tubby look. But
Right.
then, oh shit, okay, we need to be able to fight stuff off, and we need to be able to, with a bow, you're not going to put an arrow through the side planking of a ship, right?
Right.
Almost no
Right.
matter how small it is. So you got to shoot down, which is where again you get these built up areas, as well as like we talked about with Wassa and everything. If somebody gets in here, you need to be up here to be able to pow down. And yeah, I need to build this thing. This is a cool one. It's an old irregular sculpt. See, there's even dudes up in this little barrel of a crow's nest, which is pretty slick. Uh, right up here.
Very
But yeah,
nice. Very nice.
I need to paint that thing because that'll be really cool when it gets painted. Um, let's see. How do I? There we go. But yeah, so fun stuff. Oh, for those of you who are paying attention earlier, when I was talking to Reese about the 54 millimeter boat that I built him, it's essentially this thing, but instead of in 28, it's in 54, and there's not as pronounced a bow. That's essentially what I built in El Garaggio, and then like I said, up here in the bow, there's a little bit of a platform for a carronade. So hang on. I'm about to get a little embarrassed because, yeah, we're seeing my problems. Think this style of boat. This is 6 mil,
Oh
but
yeah.
again with a mast on it. So we put that back up on the shelf. Propulsion wise, it's a little closer to this, even though this is 15. But then armament wise, it is a little closer to this 15 millimeter ship or this 15 millimeter boat. So here you've got a whole bunch of British Marines getting pulled across. And again, there's a little probably 12-pounder carronade in the front, and then this cheeky little officer in the back. Dude, I might have a problem, Chris, because then here is
Might.
another generic longboat that I built, and then I have Marines and American sailors that I can sit in on these benches up front.
You might have a problem.
I mean, some people call it a problem, some people would call it cool. I'm hoping that a couple of these games that I'm playing this weekend might give me some inspiration and such. Let's see. What are some other cool little. Oh, here's a pretty good example. I showed you the one small 6 mil ship's boat. I have a couple more of those. Those are old Langton figures. I'm really sad that I didn't order a bunch more of those before he went out of business. But here's kind of the next larger size of those 6 mil boats. Again, Brits with that's actually got a long gun in the front on a slide mount. But yeah. Um, and then I've got a little uh oh god, don't fall out. A little Danish style gunboat. So again, this is a lot closer to what I did with Reese, except for there's not a bowsprit. So that also means that the gun isn't offset. But that's a cool little Danish, harbor thing. I painted this up to look like kind of like a smaller version of the Sea Witch from the Hornblower books, which is the boat that he and a couple other guys steal to escape from France. Um, and then here's a slightly truer looking Danish gunboat. If you think of the Danish, gunboat period during the defense in the Napoleonic Wars. Again, in 6 mil. Those are cool. Like I said, I should have ordered a buttload more of those, and I didn't, and it makes me kind of sad. And then in 1200, there's another ship's boat. Because again, if you don't have things in a buttload of scales, why even do it? Thank
Yeah,
God that.
if you don't have 37 scales of one thing, are you really a gamer?
Well, yeah, no. I'm just happy that my 28 mil lifeboat and stuff is packed up elsewhere, so I can't show you. That being said, here's another cool 15 mil little guy.
Yeah.
That's kind of my standard rigging style for this stuff. It's just really simple, so I can still get what figures I can on the decks. This is it's one of the random models that's been sold by I don't know how many people. Most recently, I don't remember the name of the company, but they sold it under the Black Falcon. And I took and I
Yeah.
replaced the guns. So you can see I got a couple of long guns for bow chasers up here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to dust this thing off. It's been sitting on the shelf. And then I replaced the main guns with a
There
carronade armament, which is kind of
you go.
cool. So it's a 12. Yeah, it's a 12 gunner, little 12 gun brig. Those are cool models. When I was doing this scale, I could almost bang one of these out in a week, including, time I was at work. Here's another one that I armed the same way. This one isn't quite as piratey. It doesn't have it doesn't have a figurehead on it like that one does. Oop, bleep it out.
Right.
But yeah, I figured out I could essentially build it, prime it, paint it, and rig it in 4 or 5 nights. So I have a few of those actually. Um, those were some of the main contributors for the hulls for my shark game. What else is over here? Where are some other 15 mil boats? There's a schooner that I did. Again, I replaced the guns on that, so that's a really good, cool, like 1812 uh,
Mike says no nip visible, so no need to bleep it.
True. Here's some more of those same style of gunboats in 15. Like I said, here's like USS Philadelphia, and then there's a couple of double-ended Danish style. I actually put sails on those with silk span. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Oh yeah, here's a bunch more. Ignore the fact that this rat line is down. I apologize.
I just got through a hurricane.
Yeah. So these are again. This is where you run into the box skill issue. This thing is supposed to be 1/120. It's way closer to like 1/160 or so, like a 10 mil scale. But whatever.
Yeah.
Um, these are all done with the plastic sails that came with them. Not a huge fan, but yeah, cool stuff. Big fan.
A huge fan would be able to push it forward, though.
True. Oh, I know where there's more. Here's some of the titans of my 1/100 scale stuff. Here is a Bonhomme Richard, and there is Constitution. Like I said, Constitution is not painted or rigged, but there's Constitution, there's Bonhomme Richard. I actually wound up with more of those Constitution models than there were in the three large of the original US 6 frigates, but that's okay. I have a 196. I think Revel did that I was going to kind of monkey with and cut some of the rails and whatnot to make like a Roebuck. I figured that'd be pretty cool. Kind of the British
Yeah.
version that they just looked at the Constitution and said, we can do that a little bit better. That's super cool. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Shit. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, affirmative.
Okay. But anyways, so that's kind of where the state of McMurray's brain is. I'm hoping that talking all that through got me away from the need to grab Old Glory stuff. But like I said, I feel like Sail Power is going to make me want to do that. And I'm playing in the Pirate's Life for Me homebrew rules, which by reading it, I get the sneaky feeling, Chris, it's some of the Fistful of Seamen guys with part of that collection.
Oh, yeah.
Those games filled up wildly fast.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of had to jump into one of those games and then fill out the rest of my weekend around it. But yeah, I'm real excited for Little Wars, man. I got a fistful of doll hairs for the flea market because I have problems, which is also probably a good reason to not order anything right now. But yeah, actually, hang tight just a second.
So while we've been talking, I've been getting some more painting done. I know it's not real fancy, but a basic late 45 paint scheme for Essex class carrier. Dark blue on the hull, upper superstructure, that light gray.
And we're back. Sorry.
Same thing with this Iowa class. Again, nothing fancy, just a dark blue with a light gray upper works. And then, like I said, I showed you the South Dakota, which is that all dark blue. So, and then this is the next thing I'm going to be working with. 1/300 scale World War I aircraft.
What are you playing that in? Or what rules are you playing with those?
Algae
pulls it off?
Yep.
Hell yes.
Because my plan is to get to know the game well enough that I can take it to Smoked Lard next year.
Nice.
And use either Doug's 1/72nd scale stuff or my own 1/72nd scale stuff, or the crap ton of the 1/72nd scale stuff that I don't have currently, or using the Wings of War stuff that I've got.
I was about to say, there's got to be 8 trillion people around there who have a ton of Wings of Glory stuff.
Yeah. So, but my buddy John Isbrand came in clutch and got me a half dozen of these. the alligator clips with the
Nice. Hell yeah.
and the block to hold them in with. So yeah,
Dude.
I got 7 of those.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I don't even know where the hell you get those things because I was always looking at trying to like scratch build them.
Yeah,
And that
I don't
seems,
know. I
yeah,
don't know where he got them from, but yeah.
that's badass. Good for you, man.
No, Mike. I did not say smoke mart. I said smoked lard. It is. It's the All Lardy's gaming event that we had the first annual of 2 weekends ago. And we're hoping to do it every year now at the World War I Museum here in Kansas City. Telemachus says Amazon has them in bulk. I don't even know how you would look that shit up.
Telemachus, if you can post that,
Please.
I have just enough of that nonsense to really screw with me. I don't know where I got them, but I rediscovered a bunch of uh, 10 mil World War II fighters.
There you go.
I
Here he goes. Patali 48 pieces telescopic magnetic pickup tool grabbers. Reach your tools with pocket clip 25-inch telescope retrieving magnet gift for man, father, mechanic, candyman, husband. Silver.
gamer.
Right? The fact that he's got that like on tag right there
Cole, you're the
is a little
man.
scary. It let's be honest, it is a little scary that he's got it like that quick.
It's not scary. It's fucking fantastic. Is
Well,
what it
yeah, it
is.
is. It is. Let's call it what it is. It's awesome.
Yeah,
But you know what? Our guys are awesome. All of these guys.
correct.
He's had it saved for a while.
I know that feeling.
Fair
Cole.
enough. Fair enough.
I know that feeling, buddy.
Oh man.
Oh,
So
look at Mike.
yeah, I
Again,
bought this set. They're a bit smaller. Metal painting stand, base holder, and 12-piece magnetic bendable alligator clip 6 set modeling tools. There you go.
guys, please
There you
post
go.
these in the Discord.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. If you have them as links, that would be even better.
Yes, correct.
Mucho apreciado. So back to, I know we went way off the scope of, hey, what did I do last weekend? But that's okay. When we got back from the weapons shop, the gun shop, where my buddy John picked up a replica 1858 a 36 caliber revolver,
Remington?
Colt revolver. No, Colt
Colt
revolver.
or Remington? Colt? Okay.
Yeah, it was an Army or a Navy or some shit. I don't
Probably,
know.
maybe. Yeah.
Um, he Mike, you can send it to me. You can drop it to me in
Facebook.
Facebook, and I'll
Yeah.
post it.
Mike, you can also send it straight to me, Mike. I don't mind. It would be cool to
Yeah.
have it posted for everybody because I know that they're the sort of things that people look for fairly frequently.
Telemachus just posted. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You guys are the best. God,
Absolutely. Absolutely. But not only did they have the replica there, they had a real,
yeah,
all things matching and holster.
mm-hmm.
They wanted $1,400 for that one.
Yeah.
So, but we got back from that.
Damn, that's a pretty good deal too. Anyways.
Yeah, it is. We got back. We played another game of Fistful of Lead core, but it was Western. We my buddy John, this is only his second time running Fistful of Lead.
Oh, okay.
And he's basing it off the core rules, which is fine. It's a perfect example of you don't need all the others. You can get by with just the core.
That's all you need.
But people are lazy, so
Correct.
Jay Wiley will take their money.
Correct.
But yeah, it was a Western game. The first game that I played in, I was the Banditos, and my goal was to steal the gold cross out of the church.
Dick.
Hey, I punched a pastor and the lady organist.
See previous comment.
You know it.
You
all
punched
my guys
the lady
died.
organist?
She got in the way, man. Hey,
Great.
Pedro grabbed the cross and got away. El Jefe is he after beating down the pastor and the lady organist, he walked out the front door and got shot a la Sundance Kid.
That'll happen. Yeah, well, quit punching organists and ladies in the face.
Yeah, right. And then the second game, I played the Apaches, and I was told by John that my thoughts are there are too many whiteys. So I just went on a killing spree with my Indians. They all got dead. All my guys ended up dying. But as a individual group, they killed off more of the opposition than they killed of mine. So I won the day, even though
you really hammered on that Marshawn Lynch. I know I'm going to get got, but I'm going to get mine before I get got, though.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Then once that was done, we moved over and we ended up playing Dragon Rampant in 10 millimeter scale.
Nice.
Man. What we did is
real quick, Chris. Sorry, I forgot about this. The Dragon Rampant in 10 made me think about it. The gaming community lost a relative titan today. A local guy, real good guy named Rick Costa, passed away overnight. Big 10 mil guy, really awesome guy. Just
damn.
Yeah, it blows. He was going to go to Little Wars with us this weekend. It's
speaking of losing big names. Luzachi passed away.
I saw that.
For those of you that don't know, Luzachi was the first guy to come out with injection mold plastic Star Trek ships based off of the old tech manual book that came out in the late 70s. So yeah, that kind of sucks.
It does. But still not as cool as Rick. Rick was one of the founders of the Universal Groove Society here in St. Louis, Missouri. But
there you go. There you go. Yeah.
No, he was a great dude. It fucking blows. It's gonna put a damper on the weekend, but
yeah. So this is my 10 millimeter general. He's got this page here that's carrying a fucking wooden castle. I don't know why, but he is. And then
because why the hell not?
And then the general's dog here.
Nice.
I painted him up like Hiccup, my dog.
Outstanding.
Because why wouldn't you, right? Why wouldn't
As you should. Yeah, as you should.
But what we did was this is an entire unit for 10 millimeter Dragon Rampant.
Oh yeah. You guys are doing the War Master style.
Yeah, and then when they get below 50%, boom,
Yoink.
50%. So I mean, it actually looks like we've got a real army going there. Well, this sucks. My flag fell off. Oh well. Anyway, and instead of inches, we use centimeters for all measurements.
Communist.
And it worked really well. It worked really well. I'm thinking more, not so much communist as shit. I'm drawing a blank now. Hold on, it'll come to me. Capitalistic socialist. That doesn't work.
Right.
I know. Never.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Mike has it correct. Founder of Game Science in 1974. He was really big into getting super highly accurate dice that were they were I don't want to say accurate, but they were when you rolled them, they were well engineered, and they were like perfect statistically they were rolled perfectly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes, Mike, we use centimeters, the measure of odor.
Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome,
says,
Mike. I'm gonna
if
use
they
that.
if they wanted to keep the gold stuff, don't use little old men in robes as guards, said banditos, Huns, Mongols, and Vikings.
Good lord. You people need Jesus. Yeah, that's. Oh man, I have intentionally this week not picked up the primed 28mm Lepanto, guys. You guys would be proud of me. I've been trying to avoid that in the immediate prelude to the larger incident here, right? Like, I'm trying to walk into Little Wars with a relatively clean palette in terms of, okay, I'm not heavily obsessing over anything. We're going to see what's going on. That being said, next week's going to be a hell of an update.
Yeah.
I'm pretty psyched for that.
So Charles wants to know, should he get 2 sets of killer spear rabbits or 1 spear and 1 bow?
What rabbits do you have now, Charles? Also, I thought you no. Okay, yeah. What rabbits do you have now, Charles? We're not going to ask my question I just had. That would be silly. I think I know what my answer is going to be.
I would say
But
2. I would say 2 of each.
well, so
It's best of both worlds.
it is, but one thing that's really cool is depending on what Charles already has, the Kickstarter bundles are pretty screaming good deals.
Right.
Like, just in terms of you get a really, really good kind of combination of things. I think the second one is just dogs, but even so, the if I recall correctly, the Kickstarter bundle is a little discounted as well, and you get it's a little discounted and you get a good mix. I don't know that you get any spears necessarily, so I'd almost say, Charles, go for I take that back. Let me roll it back a second here. What are you? Do you have rules you're intending to play, Charles, or just for outstanding shiggles here? Because that will admittedly affect my answer a little bit. I wish that's how it worked, Mike. I would have legions of rabbits right now if that was how it worked, because I have lots and lots of rabbits as is. But if they actually reproduced properly, like good little rabbits are supposed to, it would be a little out of hand. Remember when I lived in Fulton, we used to help a local couple who raised meat rabbits, and they were usually really really good about, okay, we're coming into, I don't remember what their like busy selling season was, but they were pretty good about planning and keeping the mares separate and everything. And then, or the does separate. I'm sorry, they're bucks and does with rabbits. But then one time, my buddy got hammered, who was the guy who he and his wife raised them, and threw one of the bucks into the doe enclosure,
Oh
and
boy.
really pissed off his wife because then all of a sudden they had a metric shit ton of rabbits.
As one does.
Yeah, like that's what they're known for. Why the hell is this thing full of quarters?
What?
One of the pockets on this little bag I'm using is full of. Oh, it's from the gaming thing I went on in October, where part of it is a weird game where we bet quarters. Okay, never mind. Well, Pat will get a kick out of that. Charles, no response yet. I would almost advocate for, unless you're going for something where you need strict 10 uniform units, I would advocate for the Kickstarter pack and the Spears pack. That gets you a pretty good mix because there's certainly ranged units in the Kickstarter pack that will translate well. But yeah, that would be my suggestion. Dragon Rampant. Oh, okay. Then honestly, unit of bows, unit of spears, Kickstarter pack, because then you'll get a unit of 12 of each, and then have some spares to use as command figures or leaders or whatever else to then mix in. The rabbit hunting party's a pretty good pack too. That's a cool one. To again just kind of mix in to other units elsewhere. But yeah, I don't know that my buddies are kind of preparing. Chris, you know how I prepare for game conventions.
Right.
I have this small bag. And by small, I mean legitimately it's maybe 10 inches high, 10 inches deep, and 2 feet long. Pretty
Uh
small.
huh.
It does have musicians, but Charles, that's really helpful in Dragon Rampant because you should have one like command figure, which is what you do all your measuring off of for movement and stuff, and they work really well for that. But again, Chris, you've seen me at conventions. The small interior pouch, like compartment, is where I have spare T-shirts, spare set of pants, socks, underwear, and then the big old end compartments, which between the two ends probably equal the main compartment of this bag, is packed full of what? Canned goods like
Yep.
beefaroni and other wonderful things you guys have watched me eat to your wide disgust, like canned chicken and ham, so that I can not leave the table. I have a spoon. I have canned goods. I have a water bottle, a thing of energy drink, or a case of energy drinks to take with me, and canned goods. I do not intend to leave that gaming hall between when we get there in the morning and when we leave at night.
There you go.
Leaving such an outstanding opportunity for gaming and looking at stuff and doing everything else just seems like a monstrous waste. So we're not going to do it. We're not doing it. Not even once, Chris. Not even once. I do need to figure out. I have a giant thing of peanuts also because that's always a good one. I need to figure out if I can find like a big old thing of Cheerios or Chex. What I've done in the past is I've taken old protein canisters that I washed out real good, and I filled those with like Cheerios and Chex because they're relatively uh, moisture tight, so they work really really well, and they're hard, so they don't allow the goodies to be crushed, which is a distinct positive to say the least.
So as far as checks go,
Corn.
wheat checks are the best checks. I will not be taking questions.
Well, that's because you don't have to take questions. So I'm just going to clarify that you're incorrect, and that's all right. No one's perfect. No one's perfect. Corn checks are the greatest checks. Mainly because also then when you buy the off-brand checks, corn you can't fuck up. Rice and wheat, yeah, kinda. If it's in Chex Mix, I'll give you wheat. I'll give you wheat in Chex Mix. I won't argue with you. But if it's just straight out of the bag, corn all day long,
Okay,
all
yeah,
day.
I'll agree to that. I will
Yeah,
absolutely agree to that.
in
So,
Chex Mix, hands down. Just like
yeah.
the bagel chips in Chex Mix, the pumpernickel
Mm-hmm.
bagels or rye bagels or whatever, hands down,
Yeah.
definitely the best. I'm not arguing
Right.
with you on that.
Yeah.
How could I? It'd be
Because
folly.
you get the most intense flavor profile with the wheat checks
Oh,
because
absolutely.
it packs it in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ooh, guess what I found? Plug your ears. I found a trench whistle.
There you go.
That's fun.
Over the top, boys.
Yeah,
Over the top.
absolutely. That's
Buddy,
the
what are you
site. I have a
doing?
trench whistle hanging right here too. I'm not going to blow that one though because I'm holding my phone now and I can't cover my own ears, and that's a terrible idea.
Right.
Charles, man, I really enjoy agreeing with you on basically everything, Charles, but I can't do it, buddy.
No.
I apologize.
Now there is another Chex adjacent cereal that I like a lot, and that's
Crispix?
Life.
Life? You remember
Mhm.
Crispix? They were like Chex,
yeah.
but X's.
Yep.
Those weren't bad. Those were cool because those were like half wheat, half corn.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't quite have the same flavor profile as Chex, which made me a little sad, but I can look past that. I can be an
Right.
adult. I can. I don't like to, but I can.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Um,
Man, can I just reiterate? Here's how you know I'm excited for this thing. I don't have to be at my buddy's house to go to Little Wars until like 9 a.m. tomorrow, but I'm packing tonight. That's how you know I'm excited.
there you go. Hey, that way you don't have to wake up extra early.
I'm waking up ultra late.
There you go.
Like, I'll be waking up 3 hours later than normal. I'm fine. I'm not waking up at 4. To be honest with you, my body's still probably going to wake me up at 4, and I'm going to be real sad, but whatever. Just the way she goes sometimes, but
Right.
all right.
So we wrapped up Saturday by going and grabbing some Indian food, which was really good. And then Sunday.
Did you wrap up Saturday by crapping your brains out?
Nah,
Or was that the Sunday morning?
It was all good. It was all good.
Wow. Look at you guys with your stout constitutions and stuff.
Yeah. The Sunday we went over to Jay Wiley's, and before everybody else got there, Jay, Joey, and I got to partake in a little playtesting.
Oh yeah, I saw. Was that the Samurai Arena of Blood action?
Yes, it is.
I saw the pictures of that. That looked cool.
Mm-hmm. So how we tested it is we used the Arena of Blood combat system,
Mhm.
but we activated like it was Fistful of Lead with one action per activation.
Oh yeah, that works super well. That's how I do convention games of Arena of Blood. It's like when I run it at Big Muddy stuff, and there's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of players. That's how we do it there.
Yeah.
It,
So
it cuts down on the amount of time. You don't have people sitting there going, I don't know which one I
no,
want
what
to put
card do I
down.
want? What
Like,
card do I want to use?
yeah, no, that's how we do
Hey,
that.
Greg, how you doing, buddy?
It works super well. Greg, holy smokes! I'm happy we stuck around. Yeah, no, that's a really, really, really good way to cut down on, some of the difficulties that some people have with Arena of Blood. Because I played it when it's two people playing. That is by far my favorite way to do it because it adds a good amount to that game. But it certainly messes with some of the not so quick gamers out there.
Right.
Like Brian and I were slaying it traditional. You guys can go find that on Brian's channel over on Mini Warmut still. He's still got tons of videos of us playing that and just killing it, loving it, having a great time. We were finishing up games in like 6-7 minutes. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
We still need to do that. He always talks about how we need to have a tournament one day and just fight like all 12 gladiators that I've got painted with brackets and whatnot.
Sure.
But which would be admittedly pretty badass. But come here, Sandals. You're coming with me.
I gotta clip your nails again, buddy.
Is he getting kind of deadly?
Yeah. The other thing is that it's there's actual maneuverability. You can go 8 inches in a straight line or 6 inches and put yourself anywhere. So like if you need to get around the log or around a tree or something, you know, over around a rock, you can go 8 inches in a straight line or 6 inches in any direction, facing any direction. When you're done.
That's pretty cool.
So I beat Joey's ass down with that. But
I beat the shit out of my 16-year-old nephew. It was awesome.
Right? Yeah. Dude, these talons. We got to get these taken care of, my dude. Yeah, as soon as the show's over, you're getting a manicure. So
lame.
Yeah, lame. And then we played Fistful the Fistful of Lead Space Marines versus Guardsmen again. And my Space Marines got obliterated.
The 15 mil version?
No, in 28s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So my 4 Space Marines got obliterated by what is it? Stabby Pete.
Oh, the orcs?
Yeah, well, it wasn't the orc. It was a descendant. Yeah, Sergeant Stabby Pete Jones.
Of the Imperial Guard.
Of the Imperial Guard. And the reason why his last name was Jones is because, well, they're all from Wales.
Oh, Jay's Mordians.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
whatever.
Yes. Cadians. But we had a good time. We had a lot of fun. So finished that up, and here we are. Tomorrow headed over to my buddy Brad's for hobby night, where we're gonna get together and do some painting. One of the things I'm gonna do is go to town with some sandpaper to get the contact points on my subs whittled down, because I got to get those painted up.
Nice.
So we can play What a Seaman at J3.
Nice.
And then nothing else this weekend. Gonna spend some time with the wife.
That's good.
Dude, watch the claws. Those are definitely getting taken care of as soon as the show's over. Yeah, Greg, I'm doing well. McMurray's doing well. You missed Reese. He's doing well as well. Also, I just said "well" way too many times, and now it sounds funny.
It happens.
It does. So, well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Being that I'm no longer on the paid subscription here, we get kicked off after 2 hours anyway. So,
Oh, yeah, fair. Yeah.
So, we're going to let you go so you can finish up packing for your great trip that's Chicago, right?
It is Chicago. Yes, sir.
Beautiful Chi-Town. I've never been to Chicago. I lived in Illinois for what? From 2014 to 2025 and never once went to Chicago.
Probably worth it. The only reason I would ever go there is for something like Little Wars.
Yeah, probably so. Probably
Yep.
so.
I've been to the Field Museum before. I don't need to do it again.
Cool. So, all right, guys. Thanks once again, everybody, for showing up. Keep in mind, next Tuesday night, and this is news to you, McMurray, next Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on the mobile app Whatnot, my brother Jay is auctioning off bits and pieces and bobs of his hobby stuff.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. Damn.
Yeah. So go. Not for any other reason than it's never going to see the light of day, and it's just in the way.
You should get him to send Reese and I a list of stuff before he auctions it off. I'll be at game night.
There you go. So, yeah, I will let him know if there's anything that. Well, he does have stuff. If you go to his channel on the app, Whatnot, he does have stuff up there that you can buy.
Oh, okay.
Straight out. So
that's pretty slick. Okay.
You leave my submarines alone, you goofy bastard.
Talon boy.
So, all right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later. And until next time, we'll see you on the flip side.
Later, guys.
Peace out.
See you, Paulie. Bye, Rick.